My name is Dee-Dee Darby-Duffin, and I love to say that that is my real name. My given name is Deirdre, but no one's called me that. I think I have a couple of high school friends that still call me Deirdre. It's hyphenated, double hyphens, 40s. And currently I'm a jazz singer, so I have a five-piece band. Well, I'm part of the five-piece. And I'm an actor, and I'm a playwright. I just wrote my first play, had its world premiere at Plan B Theater Company in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. So I can remember as a young girl singing for my grandmother's ladies who lunch parties. I remember the smell of like blackberry brandy and my grandmother saying, "Hey, baby girl, come sing me that song." And I would just, and the ladies would clap and I would just, think I was all that. And not really growing up thinking I wanted to be a performer, just knowing that I liked being in front of people, I liked being the center of attention. I remember getting into college and thinking, oh, this is something you could study in college. It's not just something you do and you get found. My mom saying, what are you gonna do? You're gonna study what? Well, how are you gonna pay to live? Because you can't live with me forever. How are you gonna buy food and, buy a house and, live? And so I did not study that as a major. I did not study theater or music as a major. It's just something I picked up along the way. I've always been singing. Like I sang for my grandmother, and then I sang in high school, like with, for drama club and that kind of stuff. But I didn't think that I could make a career. I didn't think that I could make enough to feed myself and live, alone, live like a person. And I never wanted to be a starving artist because we were poor, but I didn't know we were poor. My mother made some meals out of some leftovers, let me tell you, some cans of beans. But I didn't want to live like that. Or when I got to college and I saw that, I could be a communications major or a business major, that's the path I chose to follow. My mom gave me a set of luggage when I was 18 and said, "You're grown now. You get to make your own decisions," right? I come from a long line of formidable women who just did the damn thing, and they just said, this is what you have to do. I moved to Salt Lake, and I was working as a waitress, and I saw Saturday's Voyeur, which Salt Lake Acting Company does every year, and this was the year they were doing it at Green Street. And I was a server at Green Street and thought, I could do that. Yeah, that looks easy. Okay. And then I didn't think anything of it. I watched them every night. No big deal. And a couple of years later, I had left Utah, married, had a baby, came back, divorced, and I was like, I saw an advertisement in the newspaper for Slack auditions for Voyeur. And I thought, and I was remarried, and I thought, let me just go see. Let me go see. And let me tell you something. I was the greenest. I was so green. Like, I don't even know how I got the role. It was probably because I didn't know anything and I had no idea what I was doing. So I get down there, and you're supposed to have a headshot and like your sheet music. You're supposed to sing 16 bars. I didn't even know what 16 bars were, right? And you were supposed to tell a joke. I cannot remember the joke I told. I think it was funny though. And I didn't have a headshot. I had a Polaroid. And when it was time for me to sing, they said, "Where's your music?" And I go, "Oh, I don't have any music, but I'll sing it a cappella." And the mortification on their faces, like I saw it, and I was like, no, I can sing. No, watch. Because I just had like this, I don't know where this confidence came from, but I was like, well, I can sing. I know I could sing. And I sang, I think I sang something from Madonna's, like Dick Tracy. You remember that movie? More, that's the song I sang. And I did all the movement, and I was like, more. And Al and Nancy kind of looked at me with, big eyes, and Nancy in her beautiful, like deep, like New York accent, she goes, "Where you been?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Where you been, kid?" And I went, well, I mean, I've been taking care of my kid. And she's like, all right, we'll call you. And that was the first show I ever did.
I think I understand.
And then from then on, I did like 10 musicals. I was like this, you know. And when I did that, I didn't work for money. I did community theater, and it's not that I didn't know my worth. I just didn't know that I could ask for money. And which was probably kind of a blessing in disguise, because I got to cut my chops. I got to observe really good people do the thing that they loved, and I got to learn so many things and like just soak it in like a sponge. It was like going to school. It was like my own personal like college of musical theater and acting. And then I did lots of musical theater, and everybody just assumed that I was an actor who just loved to do musical theater. But music is my first love.
Two and love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you.
You know, I don't think that it ever truly goes away, like that slight insecurity that you're not going to be liked, or that people aren't going to resonate with what you're trying to sell. I think it never truly goes away. I think I just shove it down and I just go, hey, I don't have time for you today. But yeah, I you know, as particularly as an actor who lives in a culture where there's not a lot of roles that are specifically set for you, unless they're some of the musicals and things that where we as especially as Black actors, we're like, oh, we paid our dues. You know, I played the maid and the, you know, and all of those kinds of roles, and you just, I think you get disappointed. And so from that disappointment comes this idea that, oh, maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But particularly in singing, you know, you're trying to find the right genre. So I used to sing, like I used to be this big belter, right? And I wanted to be Whitney Houston, the next Whitney Houston. And then once I found like my niche, the thing that was like the music that kind of drew me and I was passionate about it, I thought maybe I could create some shows from that. And it's jazz. And jazz is amazing. It's an amazing genre of music. And I fell in love with Billie Holiday. And she is just one of the greatest jazz singers. But people tend to know her as this like tragic singer who died early. And she was, that is just one part of her story. But she sings this amazing song called Strange Fruit. And it's a reflection of the times of what was happening when she was touring the South and singing at these venues, and it's about lynching in the South, and it's not the I mean, it's a pretty song, but it's really poignant and like it makes you feel some things. Like it's these minor keys, and you're just like, oh, right, and it just kind of grabs you. And I wanted to sing this song, and I was so scared to sing this song all at the same time. I just knew I had to do it. I knew I had to do it anyway. Why am I, what do I think is going to happen? What's the worst that can happen? Which is always what I tell my kids. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody will say no, somebody will walk out, and so I started doing that. I started thinking, what's the worst that could happen if I sing this song that moves me so much? If I tell the story of this song? And then once I figured out that the worst that could happen is somebody sends me a nasty email or they get up and walk out of my concert, I went, whatever. Okay, well, fine. But I knew I needed to sing the song. I knew I needed to tell the history of this song. I knew I needed to change the trajectory of the story of Billie Holiday, because she changed my trajectory. Like, playing her was how I got into music. You know, for me as an artist, you have a job. And part of your job, especially if you have people who follow you, you develop this platform, you have a responsibility as an artist to reflect the times and to tell the truth, to tell the stories that tell the truth, whether that be through singing or acting or dancing or visual arts. You have a responsibility. Like, you're given this talent so that you can tell stories. And I think that in the telling of stories, we find ways to move forward. But if we never talk about it, if we always kind of bury the stories or, kind of sweep them under the rug, we just continue to make the same mistakes. And so if you're an artist who can reach people through your art, then you have a responsibility to do those hard things, to do the things that are even hard, right? Because everybody's going to come and listen to you sing and sound pretty, but it's the people that are going to come and also hear maybe 1 or 2 sentences and start thinking, and that's a snowball, and it opens doors.
In the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree.
If you leave with nothing else, know that if this is the industry you want to get into, if the entertaining people is the industry you want to get into, or if being a visual artist or being an artist of any kind is the industry, know that it is still work. Like, you can love it, but there's still a lot of stuff that happens on the back end that everybody's not going to take care of. That, like, I don't have a cadre of people at my disposal that just do the things for me. I do my own makeup, and I do my own hair, and I buy my own clothes, and I work my own website. I do all of those things. My fingers in all of those. But as I started, and as I grew, and as I gained a following, I was able to find people, other artists who I could ask to assist me in that growth. And so I think my mantra is never to ask anybody to do something for free, because I worked for free for so many years. I really did. And in this industry, people like to call it paying your dues, but paying your dues doesn't pay your rent. And so the biggest piece of advice I'd say is always ask for something, whether it's a stipend, whether it's, gas, always ask for something, because you're worth it. You've been studying and practicing and working on your craft, and I think that that's worth something. So I remember being in school, and I went to a math engineering high school and failed math miserably every semester, and had to go to summer school. It was the worst. And I used to always think, when am I gonna need this? I'm never gonna need this. And I loved reading, right? But I was like, I'm never gonna need this math. But I have become my own accountant. I do my own taxes. There are things that I wouldn't have known had I not gone through those math and reading courses, right? I know you think you won't use them, but I use them every day, because I can write off the clothes that I buy, my hair care products, and I wouldn't have known that unless I knew a little bit of math, right? How to fill out some tax forms, how to write checks. I have musicians that I pay. I am my own business. I am my own brand. I would come up with these themes every year, and I was like, and maybe that was I used to be a teacher, and maybe that was the teacher in me. I needed everything to tie to a theme. So my first year, I had this planner. It was called the Passion Planner. And there was a sticker on it that said, "Action cures fear." So now I have a sticker that says, "Action cures fear." Do the damn thing already. Think about it. And if you've been to a concert, then you know what the stories are behind it. And if you haven't, then it's a like it's a talking point, like it's, pause for, it's, you can have conversations about it. Have you seen, did you know, kind of thing. And it's just become part of my brand, the Dee-Dee Darby-Duffin brand. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. It came so organically, but I'm really proud of it. So I directed and produced my own first concert. I found the music. I had a friend help me find some music. I found all of the musicians. I became my own brand. So I became Dee-Dee Darby-Duffin. And I remember someone asking me, is that scary? And I said, a little bit, because I'm not someone else on stage. When I'm acting, I embody somebody else. I'm playing a character. But when I'm on stage singing, I am just me, and it's the most vulnerable you can be. It's right? You're just you. And you're like, do people like me? Oh, okay. For me, it was the difference between, I had to redefine what success looked like as an artist. Because everybody thinks, oh, I need to be rich, I need to be famous. But for me, it was success looked like people calling me to do shows without me having to hustle so much. So in the beginning, I hustled a lot. And now I'm, my daughter likes to say, I'm Utah famous. I've always told my kid, who's actually in the business as well, I've told her that if you're going to stay in this business, or if you're going to be in this business at all, even peripherally, even around the edges, that you have to figure out what success looks like for you, not what it looks like and what it means to you. So everybody can't be Beyonce. And everybody can't be Ariana Grande and, Angelina Jolie. But do you really want to be an actor? Do you really want to be a singer? Do you really, what that looks like in terms of success for me is that the first time somebody called me and asked me to just do a play and not audition, I built a reputation for myself for being hardworking, on time, come prepared, and know what she's doing, right? And that, that took a while. That was years of just in the field, just doing the work. And the minute I got a call that said, oh no, we don't need you to audition, can you just come and do the show? I went, oh, I think I've made it.